Hello and welcome to Val, Voices of Wisdom, the show that might not be for everybody, but everybody needs to watch this show. And I'm your host, Brenda Simmons. Today we're going to have a show. It's entitled Senseless Grounds. We're going to be talking about the Trayvon Martin case. I want to read a little something. For every African American, it comes as surely as hard times, setback, and tears. That moment when you realize somebody is looking right at you and yet not seeing you. As if you had some cellophane, as if you had become air. As if somehow, some way, you are right there and at the same time not. Ralph Ellison described that phenomenon in a milestone novel that begins as follows. I am an invisible man. No, I am not a spook like those who haunted Edgar Allan Poe, nor am I your Hollywood movie person. I am a man of substance, of flesh and blood, fiber and liquids, and I might even be said to possess a mind. I am invisible, understand, simply because people refuse to see me. Today, I have two young people on my show, and they're going to give their perspective on the Trayvon Martin case. Today, I have Tavia Jeffries and Ricky Brumsey. How are you guys doing?
Good.
You chilling?
Chilling.
Okay, I'm really excited for you guys to be on the show. And Tavia, tell us a little bit about yourself, you know, what school you are, your grade, and et cetera.
I'm Tavia Jeffries. I go to Southampton Intermediate School. I'm 14 years old, and I'm in the 8th grade.
So what is it, you got important subjects or a favorite subject you like in school?
English.
English.
I love English.
English. And I understand you play a little sports.
Yes.
What do you do?
I play volleyball, basketball, and I run track.
And don't you do a little karate or something?
Yes, I do.
So what's your little history with that? Just tell us a little bit about that.
I'm a green belt at the moment, and I love karate so much. It's a passion.
I thought so. I just wanted to bring that up. And Ricky, tell us a little about you.
I'm Ricky Brumsey. I play basketball, I play football, I run track, and I'm in 11th grade.
And you're at Southampton High School and you're at Southampton Intermediate School. So tell us about what you guys are doing on Fridays at the school in Southampton.
Every Friday, I guess, well, in her school too, as well as mine, we wear hoodies in honor of Trayvon Martin.
Okay, so what brought this on? Who started all this?
I did.
You did. So why did you start this, Tavia? What brought this on?
Because one day I was watching television with my parents, and I saw the Trayvon Martin case and what had happened to him, and I was thinking to myself, this could have been my brother. And then I said, I want to do something, and I found out that across the country, students were wearing their hoods, and I thought that we should bring that to our school.
Okay. So what kind of response have you guys gotten? You know, did you have any controversy at the beginning when you started doing this? Tell us a little bit how the process of this.
Some teachers weren't on board as well as others were, but after a few days and we explained ourselves, they began to jump on board and support us.
Okay, so what was your experience, Ricky?
Well, the first time I started to wear my hoodie, and I started a Friday, and well, teachers weren't on board as they should have been, and I got kicked out of class. So, well, now that everybody knows about it and like is more aware of why we wear hoodies, you know, like they don't really have anything too much to say to me anymore.
Okay. So how did you guys get the support? Are you getting any support of this? How are you getting the word out to people about wearing your hoodies on Fridays? How is that happening?
Usually, like, when I wear my hoodie and, like, well, people come to me and ask me why I have it on, or why, like, I wear my hoodie all day, or why I won't take it off. You know, I explain why I wear my hoodie.
Okay. Tavia?
In my school, every Friday we have a meeting in a room, and any students interested and want to know why we're wearing our hoods, they come down and we explain to them why.
So, you know, I'm going to just be very bold and ask, are they all African-American kids that participate, or you have other races of children that are participating as well?
We have other races of children that participate.
So the other question I'm going to throw out is, do you think it's a race thing or not? Or do you think it's just because he was wearing a hoodie? What do you think was the reason why all this went down?
I think it was a race thing, and I also think it was because he was wearing his hoodie.
Okay, because I want to read something really quick that I found on the internet that I thought was very interesting. And I believe this is, you know, I shouldn't be biased, but I think this was from somebody that was Caucasian. It says, to be fair, this happens to white kids regularly as well. It's not a racist issue. It's a symptom of the current police system in the U.S. There are too many police in the country, and they hunt for crimes rather than responding to crimes. Police harass teenagers because they're easy prey, and typically they don't know their rights. Teenagers are often out in the public, walking around and riding their bikes more often than adults. So they get harassed more often since they are more visible. What do you think about that statement?
Well, I think, well, basically, like, what it was basically saying was about, like, it's not really about just, I don't know. Me, personally, I think it was racism, but just from hearing that statement, I think that, you know, it's just, like, the kind of world that we live in today. You know, it's not, basically from that statement, it wasn't really about racism. You know, it could be white, black, Chinese, Hispanic, any type of race. So
partly you're saying you kind of agree with what he's saying, partly?
Yeah, anybody could have been a subject of what happened to Trayvon Martin, but just being that he was African American, you know, and myself, I took it as, you know, well, he's black, and, you know, he was wearing a hoodie, he was on the phone with his girlfriend, he wasn't doing anything wrong, and being that his life had to be laid down, you know, just because of he was wearing a hoodie, and they thought he was doing wrong.
So we talked earlier on our way here about perception. So do you think there's a perception that's out there with African-American males, especially with hoodies? You think there's a perception that maybe even the media portrays? What do you think about that?
Well, I don't know. Like, my teacher, one of my teachers, they said that, you know, like, me being 17, like, me and Trayvon, he was 17, I'm 17, and me wearing a hoodie, it was like, you know, my teacher told me that I symbolized him a little bit. Maybe that's why, you know, that could have been one of the reasons why I got kicked out of class.
That's deep. That's deep. Wow. So, in other words, what you're saying, dude, because you're a typical African American that causes trouble, troublemaker?
Not at all.
So why is that perceived that way from people or from the media or from, why is that portrayed that way, you think? Tavia, you know?
I think because, well, I'm not sure. I think because everybody has their own opinion on things and everybody sees things differently. But there's people out there that are very racist, and when they see an African American male, they always think danger.
So the Stand Your Ground law, that has a lot to do with this case. And I'm just going to read this. It says, the Stand Your Ground law, which permits someone to stand his or her ground and meet force with force, including deadly force, if the person fears death or great bodily harm. The law removes the duty to retreat in the face of a perceived threat and allows the use of force virtually anywhere, a home, an ice cream shop, a public sidewalk, or jogging trail. So, what do you think about that law? And pertaining to this situation, do you think that George Zimmerman was standing his ground according to this law?
No.
Not at all.
Okay, I want both of you to respond to that one.
Well, George Zimmerman wasn't even supposed to follow Trayvon Martin. And that he had no intention of doing what he did. So, in essence, he wasn't standing his ground. You know, I mean, he was trying to, maybe he was just trying to protect, you know, his where he was. But I'm saying, like, what I think personally was maybe there was no action going on around him.
Action going around George?
Yeah.
Okay.
And basically, like, the first thing that he saw, you know, even though he was told not to follow him, he was like, you know what, I just gotta follow him. Like, I need, like, something, like, so that I can just be out there.
Tavia?
I think Zimmerman took Trayvon as a threat because he saw him with the hoodie on. So I don't think that law really pertains to this situation because Trayvon didn't do anything to make himself a threat except for walk through the neighborhood.
There was a police report that came out before he got arrested, and the police report said that this was totally avoidable if Zimmerman had not gotten out of the car and followed him. So you guys, you agree that obviously it wasn't a self-defense. He was like after him, yeah?
Not at all.
So what would you, if you had a situation like that, I don't know, I'm putting you on the spot, what would you do? I know it's hard to say, but what do you think that you would have done? I mean, being that you're the same exact age as Trayvon.
Well, Trayvon didn't do anything wrong, you know. I probably would have did the same thing that he did. He was defending himself. And
that's the point that I want to make, too. That, so you felt that Trayvon was really defending himself. We see a lot of pictures with George Zimmerman's head is all bloody and et cetera. So it's making it look like he was really defending himself. So the stand your ground law was pertaining to him. But what do you think? You think that actually Trayvon was defending himself?
He couldn't do anything else. You know, Zimmerman had a gun and, like, he couldn't really do anything else.
Yeah. So getting out of the car and follow, I mean, how do you think this case is going to stand? What do you think? What are your opinion about how this case? If you was an attorney, you guys were lawyers and attorneys, how would you try to defend this case? I think it's kind of a simple no-brainer, but maybe not.
The fact that Trayvon lost his life, I think that's just the bottom line in it all. Because he didn't have to lose his life at all because Zimmerman should have listened to what the police said.
Did you hear about the 9/11, the 911 call with the screaming?
Yes.
Did you hear about that? Did you